Hi everyone, my name is Marsha, Nayla Zulkarnain, and today I'll be presenting my research of how Zara adapted its strategies to expand globally, a study of building brand awareness in a new market through internationalization. Introduction. Recently, globalization and internationalization have increased significantly and have become essential for companies. Companies are intensely interested in expanding into new markets outside their home country because they are considered to provide several benefits, such as to gain credibility internationally, which leads to increased sales. However, to do this properly, every company must go through internationalization process, which many companies have tried to expand themselves globally, but not all the expansions are smooth. Thus, this dissertation will reveal how Zara enters new market by using various strategies. What I want to solve in this dissertation is what are the most strategic measures for a company to expand its business internationally? To answer this question, I will analyze Zara as one of the world's largest international fashion company. The following is the research question for this dissertation. In brief, what I want to achieve from this dissertation is to understand the internationalization process of Zara, which includes the pace and scope of market expansions and entry mode choices, finding out whether Zara standardizes their product or adapts their existing product, and understanding how customers perceive Zara as a brand. Review of related literature. I have broken down the literature review into two main parts. The first one is the fundamental of internationalization, and the second one is the concept of international marketing strategy. The fundamental of internationalization. Internationalization can be defined as the process of a company's participation in cross national operations by adapting to domestic markets and resource commitments. In this part, I discussed about these three things. The first one is degree of internationalization, which is the performance of a company in foreign markets. DOI is measured by pace, scope, and rhythm of a firm's expansion. Pace measures how much time it takes for a company to achieve a particular target or performance level with a time based measure. Scope measures the geographic reach of a company's expansion process, and rhythm measures the pattern of expansion or establishing a company's new subsidiary. And then there's internationalization pattern. Research on the internationalization processes of a company identified and discussed three major internationalization patterns. The first one is incremental internationalization, which commonly used by traditional companies to internationalize gradually and at a small pace. The objective of incremental internationalization are to focus on the growth of and the survival of the firm. The second one is radical internationalization, where a company begins to expand into several foreign markets at a fast pace and at the same time. The scope of expansion in this pattern is extensive because these companies are categorized as less vulnerable to the psychic distance between home and host markets when conducting market penetration. The last is radical but late internationalization, which the company previously only focused on the market in their home country but suddenly started to internationalize because a significant event occurred. The last thing that I will discuss in this part of literature review is entry mode choices, which is when a company decide to internationalize themselves, they must pick a market entry mode strategies. Each types of market entry mode is distinguished by the level of risks, control, and resource commitments of the company. Entry mode strategies is divided into two: non equity, which consists of export, licensing, franchising, and alliances, and there's equity modes, which is joint ventures, merger, greenfield, and acquisition. Next is the concept of international marketing strategy. I will discuss about adaptation versus standardization of the four P's. So Jerome McCarthy popularized a four-factor classification, the so-called four Ps, which consists product, price, place, and promotion. It is a mixture of controllable marketing variable that the firm uses to pursue the sought level of sales in the target market. From the moment a company decides to extend its activities into foreign markets, they should settle on either standardizing or adapting their marketing mix. It is important because it will influence the organization's fundamental approach to business and how it will compete. Next is methods, the methodology. Since the study aims to describe how a particular phenomenon occurs on particular markets, a qualitative approach is found to be more suitable. In order to really understand the topic and answer the key research question, I will use two types of data, primary and secondary. Secondary data corresponds to what has been already collected and published by other people. Thus, I will be collecting information from Inditex and Zara reports and documents, articles published in magazine or newspapers, and all information collected from the internet that is related to my dissertation. And in terms of primary data, I am interviewing loyal customers of Zara to understand their perception towards the brand. For the method of analysis, I will be using qualitative content analysis to analyze most of the data collected and thematic analysis to analyze the interviews. Results. Here are some of the data that has been collected. First is fast pace of internationalization. From Zara's expansion history and timeline, they has a fast pace in internationalizing. They established in 1975, and then from 1976 to 1983 they opened 9 stores in the Spanish-speaking cities. On December 1988, they opened the first store in Portugal. Then continues their market expansion to New York and then Paris. Then they also continued their expansion to South America markets such as Mexico, and then there's Greece, Belgium, Sweden, Malta. And in 2002, they opened its first distribution center in Spain, in Zaragoza, Spain, and expand the availability of items through online sales. They also focused on expanding of assortment through launching new products and brand. Then in 2003, they entered the home furniture market and launched the new brand Zara Home. Then in 2007, they opened its 1000th store in Florence, Italy. From the market expansion through opening stores in different countries within a short period of time, expanding the availability of items through online sales, and then expand of assortment through launching new products and brand called Zara Home. Zara can be claimed that their pace in internationalizing is fast. Next is business model of Zara. Now, discussing the business model of Zara that they adopted. Zara has achieved a competitive advantage due to its unique business model that includes highly responsive supply chain. Zara follows fashion trends through fashion shows, magazines, movies, city streets. They also uses trend trackers and forecasting companies. Next is short lead time and fast deliveries. Zara has a short lead time and fast deliveries. Zara's centralized distribution center allows to ensure quick lead time and frequent deliveries. The key of success is the speed at which the retailer develops and gets new product into stores. Zara takes approximately 2 weeks. Meanwhile, other retailers need 6 months. Zara can achieve so short lead time because it closely controls manufacturing and produces 50% of their clothes in house in factories located in Europe. Rest of the production is located in Portugal, Morocco, Turkey, China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Brazil. Next is strict rhythm and frequent replenishment. Zara has a strict rhythm and frequent replenishment. Thanks to it, Zara's store look fresh and original. Zara is known for changing the collection twice a month, thus it builds customer loyalty. Moreover, this attracts customers and stimulates them to attend Zara store more frequent. Such business concept creates sense of urgency and stimulates customers make a purchase immediately. Internationally, international marketing strategy of Zara. Zara choose to focus on geocentric planning. In this chapter, I discuss about the three things, which is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. The segmentation of Zara is middle class and upper class shoppers. Zara stores are mainly located in urban areas, and they target their customers, those who are interested in day-to-day clothes. Zara uses a selective targeting strategy where Zara's target customers are between 2 and 40 years old, but their primary target customers are 18 to 30 women and men. Zara positions itself as an affordable fast fashion and aims to democratize fashion. Now the interesting part. Zara has succeeded without any advertising techniques. They has relied on stores as their advertising places. So instead of spending money on marketing, the company invests in real estate and beauty, historical appeal, and locations of its store. Also, when expanding abroad, Zara is trying to keep the same style of store. Thus, when a customer entering a Zara shop located in other country, they will find themselves in the same environment, which is wide, modern, and spacious store walled with mirrors. It can be concluded that Zara has maintained competitive advantage due to well-considered business model, tightly integrated and coordinated supply chain, and unique distribution channel are their keys for success. Now, how did the customer perceive the brand? They say the collection is suitable for all occasion. They always can find something that they need. Uh, Zara has accessible price and up to date with clothing trends. Sometimes they become as the trendsetters. Conclusion. Answering question number one. What is the motive behind Zara's market selection and entry mode strategy? Zara wants to be the leading fast fashion retailer. Zara is aiming to expand the brand to all corners of the world. On European markets, Zara focused on penetrating in developed countries with built fashion history and strong existing demands. On Asian and Middle East regions, Zara gained economies of scale due to the low labor costs and size of markets. Zara was motivated with increasing purchasing power of buyers, low suppliers' costs, and a huge potential of online sales. The entry mode choice they chose to is to depend on how Zara familiar with the market. The strategy chosen by Zara is wholly owned subsidiaries, franchising, and joint ventures. Now, what is the pace at which Zara is expanding abroad? It can be concluded that Zara does not have a regular pace, and they prefer to expand based on momentum. Next question would be what measures has Zara taken to adapt globally and build brand awareness in different countries, whether to adapt or standardize? Zara decided to do a mix of standardizing and adapting their existing marketing mix to make their market expansion easier. Last but not least, how are customers evaluating Zara? Customers see Zara as a brand that presents clothes with classy, exclusive, and trendy designs at reasonable prices. The strategy that stands out the most in the eyes of customers is how Zara differentiate their collection, size of clothing, and price in different countries. They notice that Zara differentiate their collection of clothing to suit its markets. That's why they rely on Zara. That is all from my research. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for listening.